The Babylonian monarch Nebuchadnezzar II was easily one of history's most impressive rulers. A mighty conqueror, he subdued even the great Egyptians, conquered and dismantled the ferocious Assyrians, and just so happened to be the very rod used by God himself to discipline the Israelites. A wonderful architect, he is credited with building one of the 7 great wonders of the ancient world, namely the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which he built for his Persian wife. Andrew Cuomo is none of those things. On his best days, Andrew Cuomo is a self-centered, egotistical, elitist political hack whose only reason for having any political power at all is that he stems from the loins of one who did before him. Cuomo builds nothing. Cuomo conquers no one. Cuomo has no great qualities about him whatsoever, and in the end, no stories will ever be told about the great achievements of Andrew Cuomo. But Andrew Cuomo does share one particular quality with Nebuchadnezzar, and that is, he seems to think an awful lot about himself. In the Bible, Daniel chapter 4, starting at verse 29, we see the following story about Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. And they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth to whomsoever he wills. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hair were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. What we see here in Daniel 4 is an extremely arrogant Nebuchadnezzar being brought down to his knees by the Most High God, who is the one true ruler over all mankind and over all the earth. He gives dominion over certain areas of this world to those whom he pleases. Nebuchadnezzar thought differently, thought he had built Babylon, thought that it was for the honor of his own majesty, and he was quickly and harshly corrected. Andrew Cuomo also likes to take credit, and take it specifically away from God. Interestingly enough, Cuomo and Nebuchadnezzar happen to have shared this quality with Lucifer. Nonetheless, during a press conference on April 13th, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo contended that God has nothing to do with the notable decrease in COVID-19 cases across his state that was appearing at that time.
It is directly a result of what you do today. The number is down because we brought the number down. God did not do that. Fate did not do that. Destiny did not do that. A lot of pain and suffering did that.
Over the last month and a half, New York City has become a world epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic, with more than 123,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases as of April 17th. The state, meanwhile, has recorded just over 218,000 cases. Now, we see here, at the time that Andrew Cuomo made this ridiculous and arrogant statement, there were 218,000 total cases in the state of New York. There was 123,000 total cases in the city of New York. We find the number of deaths in New York State in another article, published the selfsame day. New York passed a grim milestone Monday, that is Monday, April 13th, that no state would ever want to reach. More than 10,000 New York residents have died of complications related to COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced Monday morning. Again, more than 10,000 New York residents have died of complications related to COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced Monday morning. That Monday is April 13th of 2020. This is important for multiple reasons. Number one, even when Cuomo declared arrogantly, "We brought this number down," bringing glory to himself while simultaneously robbing it from God, God had nothing to do with it. Even at that point, he was still hitting 10,000 New York residents dead. Far more than anybody else in the country. But as it turns out, it gets far worse. An examination of current coronavirus numbers shows that 425,000 people in the state of New York have been confirmed to have the novel coronavirus. 32,345 have died. The death numbers have tripled since Cuomo decided that he and his human beings that he happens to have around him brought down the novel coronavirus, and that God had nothing to do with it. It just so happens that the day with the most cases of COVID in New York was April 14th. 11,571 different New York citizens were diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus the very day after Andrew Cuomo declares God had nothing to do with it. But what about the question of deaths? Well, as it turns out, the deadliest single day in New York was also after he arrogantly declared, "We have brought the numbers down." On May the 5th, just 3 weeks later, 952, count them, 952 New York citizens died of the novel coronavirus. It just so happens that at this self-same time, we could say that the numbers doubled for the state total. Here from an article published May 6th, the state listed its death toll at 20,597. Late Wednesday, a jump of 952 from the day before, and an increase of more than 4 times higher than what Andrew Cuomo reported in the afternoon. So not only are the numbers which Cuomo reports wrong, but it took him a month to hit the 10,000 number. And 3 weeks after he hits the 10,000 number, arrogantly, so arrogantly, going up and declaring, "I have brought down the COVID numbers and God had nothing to do with it," we see that the numbers have doubled. Only 3 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. God is very clear how he feels about the proud. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Once again, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. And pride goeth before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. When Andrew Cuomo, in pride and haughty spirit, declares, "We, the mighty men, have conquered and brought down and subdued this coronavirus, and the Most High God had nothing to do with it," he robs God of glory which belongs to him alone. He professes himself to be wise, becoming a fool. He, like the fallen angel Lucifer himself, declares, "I will be like the Most High." But the position is not open. When any man says,
"The number is down because we brought the number down. God did not do that,"
what we say in return must always be, Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Shalom, friends.